The death of Celeste Reavis has sparked a wave of heartbreak and questions surrounding her connection to rising music star David. David, an adult. Celeste, just 14 years old, found dead in the trunk of a Tesla. The owner of the Tesla, David. Tonight, still no arrests in this homicide case, but we have new information connected to the car and the last known person to drive that Tesla. What happened to Celeste, and when will someone be held accountable? I'm Vinny Politan. Thank you for joining us here on Closing Arguments. It's a story that really has a lot of people wondering what's going on in the investigation, has people frustrated with the fact that no one's been held accountable yet. No one has been held accountable in this case, and it all begins with the internet music sensation David, okay? This guy came pretty much out of nowhere. He was a gamer on the internet, on YouTube, Twitch, doing his thing, then found out he can sing, I guess, and then somehow his career just exploded, absolutely exploded. So this guy was a star on the rise. Now, the victim here is a dead 14-year-old. Her name is Celeste. She's gone. Her life is over. This is serious. Like this is the murder of a child we're talking about. And the crime scene is a Tesla. That's where she was found. In the trunk of a Tesla. 14-year-old girl. Decomposing. In the trunk of a car somewhere in the Hollywood Hills. From the outside looking in, you'd think, okay, might be pretty easy to put the pieces together, but apparently it's not that easy to put the pieces together in this case. But they know whose car it is. It was David's, but the question is, who was driving the car? Who had access to the car? Who left the car abandoned on the side of the road? To me, that's an important question in all of this. It might not... That person may not be the killer, but that person may have some information that could lead you to the answer to what happened to this teenage girl. We've got a special guest joining us here at the top of the show on this story. Missing persons private investigator, search and rescue pilot, and ground search technician Steve Fisher is with us. He was also hired by the homeowner of the house where the singer David was living. Also joining us, host of the Outlier podcast and pop crime TV reporter Lauren Conlin. Great to have both of you here tonight. Steve, I want to begin with you because making a lot of news with all of this, involving a video apparently that you were able to get your hands on. Give us the backstory on the video, what you can tell us about the video, and what that video revealed to you and what you've done with the video.
So it's from the neighborhood. It's right down the street from the house that David was staying in that his manager leased, and it's a video of the Tesla being moved on the July 29th about midday, and it's the same day that they leave. A group of them leave on a tour bus to begin the tour, the first day of the tour on the tour bus going to San Francisco. So the Tesla at that point is actually already in as dirty state as it is in the pictures that we obtained right when it was towed. So it's it looked like it had been sitting again for a while, and it looks like they just made one last move with it before they set out for this part of the tour.
Now, as you described that, everyone at home is saying, well, who is they? Do we know who they is?
That's something that, right. Yeah, I know who was driving it on that last little, move that it made to that parking spot there. But that's something that I'm not going to disclose yet. I think that would be, stepping on LAPD's toes, which we don't want to do. We just want to make sure that, some of these things are known and that, that there's justice in this case, because that statement that LAPD came out with not too long ago was a little concerning. It made it seem like really culpability of concealment of a body might be the extent of the charges.
So, and I just want to get a clearer picture here. The house where this was would there be a reason for the car to not be at the house? Like, were they abandoning the house and they were never going to return to the house? Do we know anything about information like that?
I don't think that was the plan, because they left a lot of stuff behind the house. They did, after this all went down, they moved some of it out, but even then they left a ton behind. So I think it was just, maybe that psychological factor of just a little distance gets it a little, further away from, from the house. I think it was not a permanent solution, obviously, but I think that they did have a plan down the road. I think the towing really upended that plan.
Absolutely. All right, Lauren Conlon, this story, first of all, are you surprised that here we are in October and we still don't have answers in this case?
Yes, I am completely surprised. And if it wasn't for Steve, I guess at this point, and I'm not, I'm not trying to shade the LAPD. I know they're doing everything they can, but if it wasn't for Steve, I would be even more concerned than I am right now. I constantly refresh the Los Angeles Medical Examiner's website to see if they've determined a cause or manner of death for Celeste. They have not. I've also, done some further digging where, their website says toxicology reports do take 4 to 6 months. I'm sitting here thinking, oh my goodness, is it going to be after Christmas before we start to, finally figure out possibly what happened to this poor girl? And, something just that Steve said to piggyback off that, it is concerning to me that so much stuff was left behind in the house that Steve was collecting, as evidence, because he's working for the homeowner. Some of this stuff that Steve and I have talked about offline, it's weird. I'm sorry. It's just strange that the LAPD didn't take this stuff with them when they had their search warrant. And I guess it's kind of like, let's just look at this from the outside again. David, not a suspect, not a person of interest, but he canceled all of his tours. That's a lot of money. He hasn't been seen, right, since he returned home to LA. I mean, that doesn't make sense. If you're not a person of interest at this point, what are you hiding from?
I want to put up on the screen a sketch of a timeline here of some of the things that we know. And as Steve pointed out, July 29th, the last time that David's Tesla was moved before being parked on a nearby Bluebird Avenue. August 27th, a parking enforcement officer marked the Tesla, noting the position of its tires. September 3rd, the officer issues a citation to the Tesla for violating the 72-hour parking ordinance. September 5th, the Tesla is impounded and towed to the Hollywood tow yard. September 8th, the body of Celeste Reavis Hernandez is found, in the front trunk after an employee reports a suspicious smell to police. And September 18th, Hollywood Hills home where David had been staying is searched. And I just want to show everyone a map so they kind of get an idea here. As Steve described, the home is on the 1300 block of North Dehaney, and the Tesla is found within walking distance of there. So you could drop it off and just walk back, and it's no big deal. Let me ask you, Steve, is there any indication of what is the last known proof of life of Celeste?
So the last that I have, and I don't know, what LAPD has, but there was some media left behind at the house, and there's photos from a camera that David was using, and the last photo of Celeste is January 2nd of 2025.
Wow. Now, without revealing what you found, right, because some things you may not be able to reveal, in what you went through in the house, did you find any evidence of criminal behavior?
So, it's not a crime to think about doing certain things, but we found some things that had been delivered to the house that just don't belong there, or don't belong in any type of environment like that. And they are things that you could use to get rid of a person if you wanted to. And they're really, people say, oh, it's got to be tools and stuff. It's beyond that. It's really sadistic stuff. Now, LAPD didn't take it, but they have told us that they photographed it. But again, that's not a crime, just ordering these things,
Right.
But I think it does, show that there was some intent and,
Yeah, well, right, it's not illegal to have, but if you're putting together a case and it ends up being a homicide case and these things are
Right.
around, that's a piece of the puzzle, the building blocks of any prosecutor's case. Lauren, how would you describe David? If someone has no idea who this guy is, who he is, how he got famous, what he's known for, and what he's like.
Yeah, I mean, David is your typical internet kid. He describes himself that way. He grew up with the internet. He's a gamer. He was a TikTok star. That's essentially how he was discovered as this singer. He went viral, and he has millions of followers on every platform. A huge following on Discord, Reddit, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. His life is online. And Vinny, just to add a couple things to the dates that you mentioned before, you said September 18th, that's when the home was searched, the Hollywood Hills home. Well, also around the 17th and 18th, I'm not exactly positive which day it was. I don't want to be called out, but that was also the day that Celeste Reavis Hernandez's body was identified as Celeste. And also, that was the day or around the day that David transferred his Houston homes in Texas in his mother's name. And, I kind of smile a little bit, and I didn't really mean to, when you asked Steve, about the evidence he found in the home, because I know that Steve wishes he could share it all with us, but clearly he's being incredibly responsible right now, and he's not trying to step on the LAPD's toes. But it's concerning.
How about Celeste's family, Lauren? What are they saying now? Are they speaking out? Are they frustrated? Are they angry? Or are they just waiting?
So it's interesting, Benny, because I have been kind of refreshing their Facebook profiles, the family members that I found. I believe initially when Celeste went missing for the first time back in February of 2024, it was her aunt that posted that she was missing, and her mom had commented on it. And I haven't seen any posts from them that are public since. I did get her brother's number. I actually texted him at one point. I did not get a response there. So I really have no idea. I also think that, there is a language barrier with her mother. At least I know that her mother for sure does not speak English very well. So I think that, that also might be an issue as to why she's not speaking out. But yeah, pretty much silence from her family.
Now, Steve, getting back to your video, and you've provided it to LAPD, correct?
Yeah.
Right, so they have it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And from that video, you're able to tell who's driving the car, and you use the term they, so there's more than one person involved in all of this, and obviously none of them or all of them could be involved with what happened to Celeste. We don't know. But are they identifiable from the video?
Yeah, and to be clear, so there's one person driving the car. When I say they, it's because there's images from right before and then after the time frame the car was moved that same day of people at the home and then on the tour bus. So when I say they, I know that they were in a group, but there was only one person that moved the car, and that person is identifiable for sure.
And is LAPD, my guess is they would have wanted to have spoken to all these people. Do we know if they have given statements? Do we know if LAPD has spoken to David and anyone else who may have been in and around the home at that time?
Well, I know that, before she was identified, there was a statement from David's camp saying that he did plan on talking to LAPD when he came back in town because he had a show at the Greek Theater in LA, which was canceled. I hope they've talked to these people, but they're not telling us that. We have not gotten. We've been trying to get a copy of the search warrant with the probable cause affidavit because the owner's entitled to that since David wasn't on the lease. We haven't gotten that yet, and that's not something we could disclose anyways. But I would hope that they're talking to. There was a core group of people that were around a lot and all the time. And I'll tell you what, Celeste is not one of those people that it's in this house in these photos. There's people are showing some photos of an old house from before, but there was another place that appears to be in East Hollywood or downtown that I believe she was staying at, more like an apartment. And so I think that hopefully they get to the bottom of that and figure out, because I think she was living with somebody as well too. She was not at this house 24/7.
And how far back do the videos go? I mean, are there videos before that date on July 29th, and do they reveal anything?
They go from December of 24 up until I forget the exact date, but it's about I think it's like April or May that they go to.
All right, Steve Fisher.
So go ahead. There is back in 24. Yeah. She does appear on some images in December 24 as well, but the last one is January 25.
January. All right, Lauren Conlon, great to have you on. Thank you so much. Steve Fisher, great to see you. Appreciate you sharing all this information with us and with our audience. And I'm sure we'll speak again as this investigation continues.